Hey there, it's Big Tony over here at NatG, coming at you with a little War Robots action, Yam edition. Yeah, I love the Yam map. And I do not have the right hanger for this. If I had my Ocho still in, I'd do the jump for the center here, but we'll make do with what I've got. We'll have a little fun, I'm sure. But we're going to talk about, hi there, just kind of looking at me, okay. We're going to talk about pay to play. We're going to talk about pay to win. And we're going to talk about, I have kind of a unique, I have a kind of a unique view on it. And, this is just based on my experience, and, you might not agree with it, and that's fine. But a lot of people get this impression that, you call this your hanger. This is my hanger. These are my bots. And it's like when you invest in the game, you think you're buying to own something. And that used to get me really frustrated, because it's like, it's like buying a car. You buy a car, you buy a Corvette, you expect it to be a Corvette. That seems like, a couple months after you bought it, you're brought back into the shop and they give you a, they swap out your Corvette, your fancy big high-end car with an economy version that's no longer as good or as fun to drive. And that is entirely frustrating. And, I get that, because I've been in that mindset as well. Then it kind of dawns on me. We're not buying cars here, guys. We're renting them. I got hammered out right there. Shouldn't pay attention. Walked right down the funnel of death. The tunnel of death there. Fatal funnel. That was classic. But back on point. We're not buying cars. We're renting them. And it's like going to any one of the big car rental places at an airport. You go in there, you want the best car you can afford to rent, so you go in there and you rent a Corvette, and you have it for a couple days. But you have to return it when the rental period is up. And if you want to continue having that level of power, you've got to renegotiate. You got to go out and rent another car if you want it. You don't get to keep the same one. And it's kind of like that here in War Robots. We're renting power. That's what we're doing. We're paying to have 2-3 months of the most powerful meta that's available. And at the end of that rental period, it's not like renegotiated. You have to go rent, if you want the Corvette again, you have to rent the Corvette again. And unfortunately, it's not going to be the same one that you're driving. You're going to be getting another one. And of course, that means a whole new set of bots. So, yeah, it's still kind of a tough pill to swallow. But when I start looking at it I'm paying a subscription. I'm paying a rental fee to keep the most powerful hanger I can on the battlefield. Then it's like, okay, this is starting to make sense. This is their business model. They're renting power. And now there's a great video that's probably 6-7 years old, where there's a Pixonic, aka War Robots executive. And he's at a gaming seminar. He's at one of these really big get-togethers, and he's talking about their business model, and he says, we sell power. Now it makes sense. It doesn't pay for them to sell you a Corvette once. It pays for you to rent a Corvette, and then at the end of that, renegotiate, and if you want another Corvette, you're going to have to rent another Corvette. So it keeps a continual stream of money coming in. Pay to play. That's what it basically is. Pay to play, pay to win. I'm not going to say it makes it easier to swallow, but for me, it makes me understand the game a little more, and I understand that what I'm investing in is a temporary rental, is what I'm doing. And that's just something I've had to adjust to and, had to come to terms with. If you guys know me, I've taken breaks from the game before when I got really frustrated with the business model or other things in life going on. But when it came down to the business model, I get frustrated because I fell for that. This is my hanger of bots. This is my bots. I bought them, and I just still fall into that every now and then. But it's like, I rent these. I don't own them. And if you look at the terms of service in the game, it kind of implicitly says that you pay for access. You don't pay to own. You pay for access, which is another term of you're renting. You don't get to keep it permanently. You don't get the benefits of a permanent ownership. You get to rent that power on their terms for as long as they let you. And that's, it's still kind of a sucky business model, but at least now, understanding where we're heading with this, I know that what I'm putting into this game, I'm never going to get anything back out of it. I can't walk out into the garage and see a brand new Ochakochi sitting there. It's just all digital. It's all make-believe. It's all pretend. That's what it is. And yeah, it's still generate. I mean, all you have to do is look at the Facebook pages. All you have to do is go to the Reddit groups and all that stuff, and you can just see the frustration. And been there with you guys. I know exactly what you're thinking. I know exactly how you feel. And I've had to find my way of coming to terms with it, and I just know I'm renting this game. I'm renting the power, and I do this on a couple-month basis. And I guess that's just how I've come to terms with it. Now, each one of you guys has to come to terms on your own with how to deal with this whole nerf buff business cycle. You've got to find your way of trying to stomach it or get out of it. I mean, take breaks from it. Do something. Do something so that you can still kind of enjoy the game. And of course, don't rent a car you can't afford. I mean, free to play, you get the longest. Those are the longest rental / lease agreements, guys. Those are probably the best bots if you want the longest lease possible to keep a certain level of power as long as you can. Now, if you're chasing meta, those are short-term leases, guys. Really short-term. 2 months, 2.5, maybe 3 months at most. And then everything you put into it, you've lost. Whereas as a free-to-play, or even a pocket change, low-end pocket change, you're leasing in moderate, in mid-size. A stable, decent mid-size car / hangar in this case. And it will have probably a longer shelf life as far as a rental agreement goes than you have with the high-end meta spenders. So, I mean, I guess if you look at it from that end, maybe that helps you, kind of stomach it a little bit. Definitely, I wish they would have adopted a way different business model way back at the beginning of the game. We all just went, no, don't do this. But they went with it anyhow. But renting for power. That was kind of my, I'm not going to call it a rant, that was kind of my PSA for today. My public service announcement. Remember, folks, you're renting power in War Robots. All right, there we go. We got the victory. It's a fun one. I mean, we pounded some serious bots here, guys. I bet you we got at least 12, 13, maybe 14 kills. I'm probably undercounting that. Oh, yeah, quite a bit. 17 kills. How about that? Just a nice pounder. Alrighty, guys, let's discuss down the bottom. What do you think about renting power in this game, and what's your ideas about it? And, of course, subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. It would do me a favor. Alrighty, guys, stay safe and healthy. Watch out for each other. I'll catch you on the battlefield.